Okay, so Barcelona entered the new season already weakened at the back. When we heard that Inigo Martinez was going to be leaving to Saudi Arabia, the club couldn't find a replacement. And Barcelona's defensive line definitely took a hit when we heard that Andreas Christensen had to take some time off during the beginning of the season. Ronald Araújo also had to step away in certain matches, also recently as well because of mental health reasons. And because of this, Hansi Flick never had a full center back group available at any point this season, like ever. We have yet to see Gerard Martin, Cubarsí, Araújo, Christensen all together at once in the squad list. You also add in the factor that Hansi Flick doesn't even have a natural left-footed center back. And this is the reason why Hansi Flick has brought up the idea of really incorporating Gerard Martin as a center back next to Pau Cubarsí, because Gerard Martin was originally seen as a left back who was a competitor to Alejandro Balde. And ever since Gerard Martin has played as a center back, and for sure in the past 4 games, Gerard Martin has impressed. His rise of importance in the defensive line and the fact that he could be the answer to Barcelona's defense is even crazy to say. Like, I can't even believe this. I remember when Gerard Martin first came into Barcelona and they signed him from UE Cornellà back in 2023. I thought that they just signed him only because he needed to reinforce Barça Athletic and because we did not really have a backup to Alejandro Balde, that he was just going to be the plan B, like worst case scenario and nothing more. I just thought that they brought Gerard Martin to like maybe up his level a little bit and then sell him in about 2 seasons for maybe 10 to 15 million euros, like a quick flip type of thing. But when Hansi Flick came in, I think that Flick saw something in Gerard Martin because he wasn't trusted by Xavi Hernandez whatsoever. Like, he spent his first full season at Barcelona with Barça Athletic. It wasn't in the first team at all. But when Flick came in, he said, I'm going to trust Gerard Martin. I'm going to promote him to the first team officially, and he's going to be somebody I want to rely on. And in that first season, yes, he was deployed as a left back 99% of the time. I would even go as far as to say 100% of the time. Gerard Martin was just a plan B to the first team to Alejandro Balde. And he had few moments of good performances here and there. Like, for example, he peaked for sure against Inter Milan in the second leg where he provided 2 assists. That was like the turning point to Gerard Martin, I believe, because a lot of people were like memeing him. They were making fun of him. They were saying that he has no offensive qualities, that he's never going to be better than Alejandro Balde. But ever since he made those 2 assists to Inter Milan, that was the turning point. It kind of shut some mouths and the hate on Gerard Martin started to get very low. And then as we went through the summer, there's been a lot of reports that were saying that Hansi Flick wants to promote Hofeder Torrens and use Hofeder Torrens as the plan B to Alejandro Balde because he is somebody who can bring in the attacking qualities in the final third that Gerard Martin is missing. So we thought that Gerard Martin was going to end up becoming the third option. But then as this season started, the only thing that we have been seeing is Gerard Martin getting flipped to the center back position and making that center back position his. I can't believe Hansi Flick has chosen Gerard Martin to start over players like Araújo and Andreas Christensen. I would really like to see, and I'm dying to see this, and hopefully I can see this in this upcoming Saturday because I want some answers, but I am dying to see what Hansi Flick would do when he does have all center back options available. Like, is he still going to use Gerard Martin as a left center back? Because if he does, bro, if Hansi Flick says, I'm still choosing Gerard Martin as a starter and over Araújo, over Christensen, and anybody else, that basically means that Hansi Flick has full trust in Gerard Martin. That is going to be a big call, not just for the player, but for us, because that changes everything. That changes the fact that Barcelona might not even sign a left center back in the future. We'll talk about that in a separate video and who could they sign in the future. But the more games that go by with Gerard Martin as a left center back and him doing well, looking very composed and reliable, the less I'm starting to believe that Barcelona might go for a left center back signing, and they're going to go and use those extra funds to maybe sign a striker or another winger, because Gerard Martin has delivered strong performances in 3 straight league matches. He impressed against Athletic Club and against Alavés, and recently against Atlético Madrid. Against Atlético Madrid, he picked up an early yellow, yes, but stayed very composed. He won both his aerial duels, made 8 clearances, completed 59 passes with only 6 mistakes, and created a scoring chance with a pass into the final third. And his consistency that he has been showing, it is reshaping his role. He is no longer seen as Alejandro Balde's backup, but now he's starting to become a reliable left-sided center back that can complement Pau Cubarsí full time. Yes, it's true that Barcelona were even prepared to sell him in the summer, maybe to a team like Everton or Wolves for around 15 million euros, but Martin refused to leave. He did not want to go anywhere. And the decision is now paying off. His emergence means that Barcelona once again might delay a center back signing in the winter transfer window and maybe even hell in the summer transfer window. And Flick has noted that he highlights 2 key traits from him. One is that he's very fast and positions himself well defensively. The fact that he's 6'1" and can still make those tracking runs to one of the attackers, that is really huge news, because it's really hard to find a 6'1" tall center back who's good on the ball and can run fast. That does almost make you complete, and it does remind me, a lot of this is reminding me of Puyol, when Puyol was at Barcelona, and the fact that he was switching on and off between the right back position and and the right center back position. But with Gerard Martin is like on the other side. And Gerard Martin also showcases that he's calm and productive on the ball, which is something that Hansi Flick also likes. Everything about Barcelona and what the defensive line need to do is, can you bring the ball to a smooth build-up play? Like, can they do that? Can you receive the ball from the goalkeeper and build with the midfielders, build with the attackers, build up the attacking play that leads eventually to a goal? Can you do that? And Gerard Martin is very comfortable doing that. Like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, he may not be the biggest name out there in Europe, but if he's doing the job, he is doing the job. And eventually, given enough time, his name is going to become something. But this is going to be my conclusion. I want to see Gerard Martin start for the next 4 to 5 matches, and I want to see how it does go, because maybe all of this could be a fluke. Maybe he might drop down in the next game and never be seen again. We have to be very careful. We can't like overhype Gerard Martin, but so far so good. And I will still say that Barcelona should still look for a left center back, whether it's Schlotterbeck or Upamecano. But if Martin shows capability, yes, then the plans do change. But so far, I'm so happy to see Gerard Martin and his rise. I really do back the player. I want him to do well. I want him to succeed. I want him to win titles with Barcelona, and maybe Flick might just have found his next gem. So speaking about the Barcelona defensive line, I also want to call out another thing, right? There was something that we have seen in Barcelona's defense that we have not really seen since Xavi Hernandez was here. And I came to one conclusion. I really do think that Hansi Flick is going to start promoting a more conservative Barcelona. Not to say that we're going to be seeing a conservative Barcelona overall, but it's going to be a little more conservative. We're still going to be very high risk, high reward. We're still going to see the high line, but there's going to be sequences and phases through the game, depending on the match itself and the results itself, where we might see Barcelona act more defensively. So let me explain. First of all, I know that Hansi Flick is suffering just like we are. The fact that Barcelona came back from a 1-0 deficit and winning 3-1 is something that is not new. We are comeback kings of La Liga, yes, but it does give Barcelona a hard time, especially for us. Barcelona have shown that they struggle to start games strongly, but very much unmatched in their ability to come back. Across La Liga and the Champions League, which is a total of 20 matches, Barcelona conceded first in those 9 matches. In La Liga alone, they have recovered 15 points from losing positions. The next best teams is Real Sociedad and Celta Vigo, and they have recovered only 7 points. Barcelona have conceded first in 7 league matches. They turned 5 of those 7 into victories. The only losses after conceding first came from Sevilla and Real Madrid. It is a dangerous habit, I would say. Like, yes, the fact that Barcelona look at this point so comfortable doing this. Our mental strength and our ability to come back, it is unmatched. It is undeniable. It is something that many teams cannot do. Now, why am I saying this? Like, why am I trying to explain Barcelona's ability to come back? Is because I think that Hansi Flick is, yes, liking the fact that we have the mentality to return in games, but wants to mitigate these type of results because sometimes it does not go in our favor. And I think that Barcelona are going to want to start the games stronger and end the games stronger. And especially with Gerard Martin emerging, adding more stability at the back, it's really going to help our scenario here. Because if we look at this picture, at the bottom, you can see Barcelona with 4 men going up top and trying to press Atlético Madrid during a Copa del Rey match. And unfortunately, Barcelona did tie this game, which ended 4-4. Atlético Madrid ended up finding another goal. And that is because Barcelona were still trying to play very risky in those last 2 minutes, even though Barcelona had the lead. All they had to do was play much more defensive, but they still dared to put 4 men up top and press Atlético Madrid. And you had the other 6 players at the bottom. And Barcelona also had the numerical advantage. Atlético Madrid only had 4 players to those 6 Barcelona players that you see here in the bottom picture. And that was a huge concern. It's one of the reasons why Barcelona can't start the game strongly and strongly. But then you look at the top picture, and this is where everything changes. I really do think that Flick is changing into a more defensive team. In certain sequences, like I've said, the fact that Barcelona had a 1-goal lead, very similar to what we had at the bottom, Hansi Flick did say to the players to drop deeper than usual. Like, yes, you can see the high defensive line in the top picture. It's still there, very much leveled with the bottom picture. However, you don't see 4 players going up there and trying to press the defenders at all. The only player you do see up there is Ferran Torres and nobody else. Everybody else is at the back. We have like a 4-4-1 or like a 4-5-1, and this did crumble Atlético Madrid. If anything, it was a formula that provided us more defensive stability and still were able to go out there and attack and find the 3rd goal. So if anything, you would assume, right, that because we're playing more conservative that we have less chances of scoring another goal, but this only promoted another goal for us. And I believe the Barcelona are going to take this exact same strategy in future matches. This is the very first time I have seen Hansi Flick promote this style of play and defensive play in the dying last minutes of a match. No longer are we going to see 3 to 4 men being committed up top, leaving only 4 or 5 men at the back. It is now going to be a 5-4-1, because every time Atlético Madrid lost the ball, when they tried to attack us, we had already Dro, Casado, and Rashford ready to go up there and attack and make those fast runs. runs. It was like, okay, like if Barcelona regained the ball after Atletico Madrid failed to attack us, players like either Alejandro Balde or Jules Koundé in this sequence or Andreas Christensen received the ball immediately and made a long pass to Rashford, and that gave us the advantage. What I believe happened here is, okay, Barcelona said, look, we're going to have 9 players at the back, forcing Atletico Madrid to welcome more forwards from their team to go up top, leaving Atletico Madrid's defensive line exposed and only leaving themselves with 3 men at the back. They forced Atletico Madrid to commit more players up top. So when we go out there and counterattack, Atletico Madrid were very vulnerable. So it was a master plan coming from Hansi Flick, and outsmarted Diego Simeone. And once again, I can see the exact same thing playing out in certain sequences of a game for the next couple of months. But that is it, right? That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.